Call the Town of Wappinger Planning Board meeting to order. Can we all rise for a pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Have the secretary perform roll call attendance, please.
Mr. Freehouse?
Here.
Mr. Ferratico?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Truss?
Present.
Here. Okay. Yep, thank you, I'm here. All right. All the board members should have received the minutes from the June 1st meeting.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, motion's made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. All right, so, first item on the agenda this evening is Over Creek subdivision. We have a public hearing on for this evening, so everybody should have received the documents for the neg deck prepared by the planner. There are any questions before we open the public hearing regarding the neg deck that was produced? Okay, all right. So if everybody's ready, want to go ahead and vote on the negative declaration for this project? Okay, motion's made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The applicant or the engineer come up and, I guess, give a quick presentation of what's being proposed.
Good evening.
You could probably
Good.
take that and pick, there you go.
I'm like a little too tall for this. Good evening. Can you hear me? Or is that not? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's for the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Danielle Stark. I'm here from Labella Associates on behalf of the applicant, Alexander Reese, Ober Creek LP, with regard to the proposed subdivision on his lot located at tax lot 855674, to subdivide the lot into two parcels separated by Wheeler Hill Road. With this lot, the majority of the lot will be included, actually all of it is included in the conservation easement. However, the farmstead area, there are some provisions in the conservation easement for it to be developed into a residential home, single family, as submitted to the planning board prior to this evening's public hearing. But I welcome any comments or questions you may have.
Okay. Any of the board members have any questions
No.
regarding the application?
No.
Okay. All right, so at this time, I'd like to open up the floor for any public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions or concerns regarding the proposed subdivision? Okay, seeing none. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Second.
Motion's made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. All right. So at this point, does staff have any open concerns left for this application?
I have a. There were a few comments on my last review memo, none of which are substantial, all of which could be conditions of a resolution. I believe that the applicant has even made a submission that I have not had an opportunity to review. They may already be addressed. So nothing on my end. Anything from you, Chris?
No comments from us. The only comment that we had last time was regarding the lot line realignment and demonstrating that the lot that was losing area, that it would still be able to accommodate septic and well. They demonstrated that had already been approved. That lot actually has a Board of Health approval for well and septic, so that we have no further comments on that. So
Yeah. Any resolution would make reference to our two most previous comments as conditions.
Okay. All right. So at this point, somebody
Motion
wanna
to draft.
go ahead and authorize the planner to draft the resolution of approval?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Okay. All right, so on to the next item, which is discussion regarding the Ober Creek lot line realignment. That application, I believe that was the same, there was no comment.
So as far as seeker is concerned, that is one application. The two applications are treated as one. So you have already approved the negative declaration for this
Okay.
application.
All right, so that was combined, all right, perfect. So with that, I guess there's no outstanding issues with that, that's just basically swapping property from one lot to another under the same ownership. So at this point, if anybody on the board has any questions regarding this, if not,
So have to draft a separate resolution for that.
okay, so you're gonna make that motion?
I will.
All right, do we have a second?
Draft resolution?
Yes, second.
I thought there was a draft resolution for this evening. There was not? I think there's.
Was there a draft?
There's the draft resolution for this evening is to approve the negative declaration.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, that's what I thought, okay. All right, so we're not missing.
Okay.
All right, so,
Don't get
did
so
we have a
excited.
second?
I'll second that.
You seconded it? Okay. All right, so all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? See none, motion carries. Okay, all set.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. All right. Okay, next item on the agenda this evening is a site plan and special use permit for Hudson Valley Volkswagen. Good evening.
So since we were here last, we have actually contacted the DEC. It took a bit through the winter, but they were there. They are not asking for a permit. So then we forwarded, we just got that information this past couple of days. We had forwarded it on. I have a copy if anybody wants to see it. Other than that, we're just working through the comments. We did get the two variances, as the board may remember. We went to the ZBA last October, and we were granted the two, but it's contingent upon the approval
Okay,
of
so-
seeker.
Okay, so, all right, so they haven't been granted yet. They're
Right.
just still waiting on us to finish up.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so that DEC, the report you got from the DEC, that was sent off to our staff?
Yes, I have a
Well-
copy if you want to look at it.
Okay.
Sure.
To clarify, that just means that the DEC is not taking jurisdiction. So that wetland on adjacent property is a town wetland, and they will still need a town wetland disturbance permit. It's also an Army Corps wetland, but they do not have a buffer, so there's no permitting required from the Army Corps.
Right, okay, okay.
We did file for a town wetland permit, and it was granted, that was sometime in the beginning of the process.
I don't believe so.
I think we do. We have a copy of, we did a file for an application for a wetland.
I know the application, I remember, I believe you did file that. That was like,
I don't believe the
I mean,
planning
it's like-
board has voted on a wetland
Huh?
disturbance. I don't believe the planning board has voted on a wetland disturbance.
no, we didn't vote on it, but I believe it was,
Yeah. We have an application form. I don't think that
Yeah.
the planning board has granted it.
yeah, so it was okay. But we received it, that's, okay. Yeah, so it's still yet to be approved at the end of the day. Okay.
I would also mention that under section 137-7, it spells out what is required as a part of the wetland disturbance permitting process. The permit form is one element of it, but we will also need a wetland analysis report that details a number of things. Those are spelled out more specifically in the
We
memo.
submitted that in November of last year.
I see. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. This was not, I did not receive this in this round of submission. I didn't see this. I apologize. I'll need to review this.
Yeah, all right,
Can you share that with the board?
okay.
Here.
So, so it wasn't,
Okay.
so it wasn't
Thank you.
so it probably wasn't circulated then.
Anybody want it?
Well, we'll have the secretary
Okay.
forward it to us instead of, be a little awkward to try to sit here and try to do it.
No, I
Read through it right now. Okay. All right, so basically you still have to renew, you still have to review that document.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still, that's one open issue still. Back to wetlands, okay. The other items on your memo as well, did
I'm detailing, I'm
it was the loading.
addressing the impervious surface and landscape area, which the applicant has already addressed.
Yep,
They show a turning radius of a car carrier accessing the rear of the site. I'd like to hear from Barbara. She's the one who's been requesting that a loading zone be shown.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that, showing access to the rear of the site is appropriate to her, if that satisfies her.
Yep.
And then I have a small note from our traffic division with respect to the drawings of the turning radius.
Okay.
So take a look at that. Other than that,
You're gonna contact Barbara?
yes, I'll double check with Barbara.
all right. Okay, so we have those issues there. What with the engineering aspect? You guys are,
We only had two minor technical comments regarding some of the grading in the drainage report, and mostly it was points of clarification really, so nothing that we can't hash out with Mark's office, so they were
Okay.
pretty minor.
If able, does the board mind if I work directly with Christian?
yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
It would be easier, the comments that we have, I think it's just a matter of us getting on the same page, and a phone call, I think, will clarify what we're looking for, so.
Okay. All right. All right, so, okay, so you think you're pretty close here on resolving those,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
All the comments.
And with the wetland information, I'll review that. I'll advise the board on it in advance of the next meeting. I don't believe that we've had a public hearing for this, right?
No, not for planning board, just for ZBA.
Just for ZBA. So that is an action that the board is in a position to take this evening. We can schedule a
So
public hearing.
so we still have to have a public hearing for this
Yeah.
then?
Correct.
So, all right, so at this point, what would be next available?
Oh, we have a couple of public hearings on the 20th of July. Will you be ready, Mark?
20th of July?
That's the next meeting.
We'll make it work.
Okay. Is that, okay, all right. All right, so I entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for July the 20th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
so we'll see you on the 20th. Okay, our next item on the agenda this evening is Seven Brew Coffee amended site plan.
I feel like I'm moving every time I bring all this stuff lately. Good evening, Doug Beachell, Director of Entitlement for Brew Team New York LLC, franchisee for Seven Brew Coffee.
Okay.
We've made some revisions since our last appearance. We received the comment letters from planning and engineering this morning, so I haven't had a lot of opportunity to make current revisions. But really, at this point, we're feel like we're through a lot of the major steps in the actual site plan. And we do have a few waiver requests that we've submitted since last meeting. I can go through those or proceed as you would like.
Okay. Well, if you want to discuss the waivers, I mean, we'll go through them one by one here, but let me just go through. So go ahead with the first one that you were requesting.
The first one is, let me look at my, so for lighting, we got a couple things going on here. So we do have we do exceed the foot candles under the canopy. I do have some photos that would better illustrate what's going on under there. This will also be relevant for the blue light. What was the best way to do this? I guess I can show it here. So this is one of our stands with the unshielded blue light, which we'll get to. But the lighting under the canopy, you can see it a little bit better here. Primarily, we're exceeding it over where the transactions happen under the canopy, where our employees come out of the side of the building and hand the beverages to people within their vehicles. There is some spillover across the front because a lot of times they go from side to side of the building from our cooler. If the production line is right inside those doors, so they'll come around over here. And the other reason, besides safety, that I didn't put in my narrative because I didn't know it yet, but really for any kind of cash transactions or credit card transactions that typically can occur at that point in the drive-through line, we have cameras, so it's also helpful for security video and sort of monitoring transactions. So we could remove some recessed lighting in the canopy. It just hasn't come up often or at all.
What's the foot candle under there on the hot spots?
It's 10.
About 10?
I think it's about 10 foot candles underneath the canopy. It's about 8 in front of the building.
Honestly, I don't think that's excessive.
it's a non-issue.
Yeah, I don't think that's excessive, because remember like the bank project we were looking at?
Yeah.
They wanted it brighter by the ATM,
Yeah,
kind
that
of the
was-
same thing.
Yeah, well, that was dictated by there's actually a law that says it has to meet those minimum requirements regardless. But this one here, I can understand if you're selling it as like a work area,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like being inside. I mean, technically, there's inside the building, there's requirements for lighting as well, in work areas. I mean, I can understand there being a little bit of a change, or a little bit of leeway on that end. So, I don't know if everybody else is feeling of that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and you can also, there's a couple of carts that we have out here on both sides that hold basically straws, creamers, sugars,
Okay.
things of that nature. So you're
Work
kind of
area,
Yeah,
that's why
it's-
I don't see it as like a parking lot.
If my daughter worked there, I wouldn't
So-
want to run around.
Spillover's not an
So
issue,
with
really.
that, just the question would be is like, what would happen to that lighting like after hours? Is it gonna stay all the time, all night, or is it, do you have
we turn off that lighting at night, 1 hour after close, just because there's an hour of cleanup.
Yeah.
And then same with the blue lighting on the canopy, which we'll get to.
All right.
Okay, so the second thing was the pole lights, in terms of the height. We're okay going either way with it. We had, basically, our typical standard is higher, is 20, I think we're 22. just looking around the plaza, I saw others were higher, so we said, well, maybe we'll just ask, but we can, it's
Bring
not
it
gonna
down,
difference.
yeah.
Because we'll replace them anyways, just because it's, a lot of times when you reuse pole lights, you know, they're rusty.
Yep,
So we'll,
Yeah.
you know, if you want us to go to the 15-foot, we can do the 15-foot.
okay. All right, what's everybody's preference with that?
My preference for the 15.
15
according to
foot.
code.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so if you're willing to do
Okay.
that, that'd be ideal then.
And we'll revise the photometric, just if that changes number.
Okay. All right. All right, so then I guess the last item we're here really to talk about in the lighting would be is that LED lighting.
Yeah, so the LED lighting, this really is what it looks like unshielded. So, you know, it's required by the brand, so we do have that in every location. But we used to have an option where we could dim it, but the current LED lights, if you dim them with the controllers that we use, flicker. So it turns into like a disco if you go.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, if you put LED bulbs in your dimmer at home,
Right.
you know, they don't.
Right, that's a
react
different,
correctly.
right, you have to have the correct driver to,
Right, so what we do in municipalities and also where there's more dark sky friendly requirements, we have this shielding. So the LED is still up there, but it's a aluminum shield, metal shield that goes around the whole thing, and it significantly reduces that glow. So it basically just downlights on the side of the canopy. This one, you pick up a little bit of it just because of the angle, but that's the shielding option.
okay. And that would just be like a cover over the top of it, pointing
Yeah.
it downward.
Yep.
Okay,
And it's the same color as the side of the canopy, so it's blue, like the blue canopy anyways.
okay. It's giving some accent light that's coming underneath and just shining downward,
Yeah.
straight downward, okay. All right,
I'm good with the shielding part.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable.
okay. Anybody else, have any thoughts?
I'm good with that.
Good with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if everybody's good with that, then I guess we'll be, sounds like we're okay with that item. With the, with the shielding.
Yep, and we'll revise the photometric and the lighting, the fixture schedule. Typically, we'll add it to that, just to be picked up in the electrical drawings.
Okay. All right. So that takes care of the lighting issues.
Signage, you want to talk signage next, or?
Might as well. That's the next item on the list, so,
So signage, really, we had requested more than one sign. We wanted one facing Route 9 and one on the front of the building. So front here, this side facing the street, we removed the one that would be facing the Goodwill. So it's really two building mounted signs. And then we do have directionals that are arrows, and they actually go on the building. So there's one on this side, one on the front underneath the windows, and one on this side. And I do have some photos of those if you want to see them. If they don't count, then I guess we don't really need them.
No, the directional stuff doesn't count.
yeah, just, I mean, just, yeah, do you want to show us,
Yeah.
just to confirm that that's exactly what it is, and then I don't think it would be an issue.
It's just the little red arrows, right? On the side?
Well,
I like the whole thing, it looks good too. Yeah.
these are white on the front.
Yeah.
It does say drive-through coffee.
Mhm.
And then on the sides, there's one on the side of the cooler. Yeah, one up here on the side of the cooler storage unit. And then one on, okay. And then one on the, you know, you can't see it on this one.
It's the side with the sign, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
over
right there.
Oh, yeah, you can't see it on
Yeah,
there,
you can't
because
see
it's
it
to
on
the left of the canopy, kinda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's ultimately what those are.
Okay, all right, so if it's just that, and there's no, real logos and everything on there, then I guess it's not. So there shouldn't be an issue with that.
Okay, there are two, like, parking lot directionals, one here and one here, and that's just an
Yeah,
arrow.
those ordinarily are, those are exempt usually, because they're out in the parking lot themselves to point you in the right direction.
Okay, so really, we're just asking for two signs versus one.
Okay, all right. And that's the ones we have here, right, that's the sign package that was given to us?
Yes.
All right. All right, so everybody's looked at those?
I was fine with the signs where they are. Yep,
All right,
good to go.
all right, so everybody's good with the signs?
Makes
All right,
sense.
perfect. So, and we're good with the signs at this point.
It goes nowhere.
All right. Okay, so the traffic was the other, but that's,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Malcolm, you're gonna,
I'm gonna work through that. I mean, I just received
Where's
a
the
response
Hackensack
to our traffic comments. Right now, we're just hammering out the details, but ultimately, I don't think that there's gonna be any issue with the traffic generation report that I mean, initially, we were looking at it to sort of
Yeah.
confirm that the multiple
Yeah, that's-
lanes of circulation around the site were warranted. And I think at this point, the board is in agreement on that. So now we're just sort of dotting i's and crossing t's in the traffic generation report. We'll still make sure that that's done, but I'm not anticipating anything at this point obstructing this project moving forward.
okay.
As far as lighting and signage is concerned, the board has just discussed and seems to be in favor of 2 of the 3 lighting waivers that have been requested.
Yep.
My recommendation is that you vote on each of those. One being to permit a foot candle maximum of 10-foot candles underneath the
Yeah.
canopy, with the understanding that this is essentially a work area where employees and pedestrians are going to be interacting with automobile lanes of traffic that are moving. The second being the LED rope light, with the understanding that it will be shielded.
Shielded, yeah.
And both of those with the understanding that these lights are turned off after business hours. I'll put that in the resolution as well, but if we can get a note on the plans to that effect,
Yep.
I'd appreciate that.
1 hour after, right?
Yeah, but I believe
I think it
it's,
was 1 hour
Yeah,
after.
1 hour
Yeah,
after.
1 hour after.
right,
Operation.
which I believe is in the zoning code.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the signage waiver. So my recommendation would be voting on each of those either all together or separately. Then, unless Christian has anything, I think that if the board is inclined, you can vote to authorize the drafting of a resolution.
all right.
About the 1 hour.
Huh?
No, he just wants to double check something about. So it'll be drafted in the resolution anyway,
Yeah, but I just want to make
as
sure
per
that
Malcolm.
the 1 hour is permitted in the code.
In the code, okay.
Just says turned off after business hours.
Right.
So there's no room for an extra hour.
Well, I mean, the customers will stop being seen or stop being received at a certain time. Employees will still be on the premises cleaning it,
Well, so when is the business hour? That's up to
When
the
is it,
enforcement.
yeah, I mean, they're still paying
I'm
their
just saying,
employees
I don't
until,
think you should put it in the resolution because the code, just copy the code. Don't add anything that's different from the code.
my thought about putting in the resolution or having a note on the plans is that if for whatever reason, zoning enforcement notices that this building has its lights, especially the rope lights, left on overnight, they can look at the site plan and say, wait a minute, it says it's supposed to be turned off at such and such time.
Well, it's in the code. They could look at the code.
Yeah.
I just don't think you should be adding something that's different than the code in the resolution.
But you
Okay.
said that it is the same as your code.
No, there's nothing about the 1 hour. It just says after business hours. Whatever the business hour is, it is.
Right.
It's not 1 hour after that.
Okay.
Yeah, and this doesn't have a special permit, so it's not like we can set special conditions on, I'm assuming.
No, but I mean, we
Right.
can put this note on the plans that the lights are to be turned off after operating hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. So we'll just they'll turn them off after operating hours
Yeah.
and call it a day. All right, okay. All right, all right, let's touch base with our engineer. Christian, did you,
We still have a few comments relative to the utilities, but they're all nuts and bolts. They need health department approval for the water and sewer hookups.
Right.
They've indicated that they've made an application. They've been in touch with Dan Keeler over at the health department. We've actually indicated in our letter that we're gonna hold off on commenting further on the utilities until they get some feedback from the health department, just because I anticipate the health department having some comments on the arrangements that they're proposing currently. So, but again, it's very nuts and bolts type items, nothing that's going to impact the site plan or nothing that couldn't be handled as conditions of approval.
as a condition of approval? Okay. All right,
I would ask, I guess, like the last applicant, if we could work directly with you potentially on.
That would be helpful too. Yep.
okay. All right, does anybody on the board have an objection with them working, the applicant working with the engineer?
No.
To resolve these, okay? All right. Okay, so let's go back to the lighting and might as well vote on the waivers.
Yep.
Okay, so on the first waiver, where they're gonna exceed the foot candles under the, exceeding the 5-foot candles, they're gonna have up to 10 under the canopy. Somebody wanna make a motion to approve that waiver?
I'll move that.
No, second.
All right, motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, any opposed, seeing none, that's granted. The other waiver was the LED blue accent lighting that they're proposing with shielding. Entertain a motion to approve the waiver for that as well.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, seeing none, motion carries. All right, and then the third one for the polls, you withdrew that, so we're not gonna, no need to vote on that. All right, so at this point, it looks like we're pretty well, the items that the board needs to take care of are completed, so we can go ahead and, I guess, authorize the planner to draft a resolution.
The waiver for the multiple signage.
Oh, that's right, yeah. All right, so back to the signage. Somebody want to make a motion to?
I'll make a motion to approve that signage.
Okay. Motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So now we need a motion to authorize the planner to draft a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. So you are now all set at this point.
Okay.
At least with the board. So we'll just have one more meeting where we're gonna vote on the resolution. Planner will draft that with the conditions, and you'll get that prior to the meeting. Once, you know, and again, if there's any issues, we can discuss that at the meeting, but if not, then we just vote on it, and then you just have to take care of all the final items with the staff, and once it's been completed, we can sign the site plan and move you on to the next step.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome.
And just, when's the next meeting?
July 20th.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
just one in July.
That's it, yeah, unfortunately, that's what we do in the summer, we do one meeting a month.
You're not unique.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right, you're welcome, have a good evening.
You have a safe drive home.
All right. Okay, so our next item this evening is a conceptual review, Wappinger Fresh Market, the former Rite Aid on Route 9.
Bob?
You need an assistant.
I do. I do about 4 of these a week, so I travel light. I need all my materials. All right, thank you.
All right, have a good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the planning board, town staff, town officials, consultant, and the public. I'm John Lentini, architect. I'm representing the Narvaez family. In attendance with me is Ashley Narvaez and Wilson Narvaez Jr., who have vested interest in this particular store that they wish to acquire. They need more room, and if they could get it, they're going to buy it. But their operation has been proven to require a certain amount of storage space, and to that end, we're proposing something that is a fatal failure to the application. The building is already non-conforming with respect to the front yard setback on New Hackensack Road. We're proposing to increase that non-conformity, which is usually a very difficult thing to get. The second more of a failure, which could be fatal also, is parking and loading. My plans are a little ambiguous, and my calculations are based on a belief that we need one space per 1,000 square feet for loading and one space for 150 square feet for retail. But at the time I'm drafting this, I don't have a plan for the interior of the grocery store, which could contain a significant amount of storage also, and based on either an interpretation by the consultants or the planning board and or an interpretation or variance from the variance board, I have to get closer to what our actual requirement is. My plans say we need 81 feet based on this. I inadvertently said, yes, we comply, but I'm only showing 79, so we don't comply. In order for us to advance this application, we would need to be referred to the variance board to make certain that we could even get the area variance. And all these other details, there are other issues that I'm not sure are fatal necessarily, but they would be very important for your consideration. So I understand that you'd want a good plan before you'd even be in a position to forward us to the variance board. One of the issues that came up that's obvious is that we've gotten rid of the drive-through, and we have truncated the area around the building. We can't drive directly around the building. But the building is coming so close to New Hackensack Road that in terms of first responders and fire services, that it isn't like we're remote from a street to be able to serve that corner. Otherwise, the circulation works pretty good. Part of our proposal is to reclaim some of the property at the northeast part of the site that has an embankment, and then we have what they originally showed on a map I saw. They called it green parking, which I understand later on there's no such thing. We want to make it permanent parking and put a retaining wall up, and those parking spaces will be for the employees. The whole back of the building will be concerned with the loading and unloading, and I'm not showing a loading space except that this entire extension is a loading zone. The trucks will pull in and load inside. What's preventing them from loading outside? You, or nothing, but we would then have to commit to loading off hours, or we'd be blocking the parking spaces, or I'd have to provide a design to your satisfaction that we are in fact adhering to the zoning with regard to loading. I heard in the planning, the discussion earlier, the workshop, that there was a concern about the actual use of the store, that whether it's a chain or not. I could tell you it's a family business. The Narvaez family owns several of these, and I could ask Ashley to come up and describe their operation if you'd like, unless there's any zoning questions you have of me at the moment.
I don't know, does anybody on the board have any questions, I guess, regarding the store itself and the operation?
Not yet.
Okay, all right, so I don't think we need that. So I mean, basically, so tonight, you're really just trying to feel out the board to see what everybody's opinion is of this, you know, of your proposal, or what's gonna be your proposal at some point. But you wanna do is you wanna go and you want to take your chances, I guess, with the zoning board prior to coming to us?
Prior to purchasing the property, too.
Huh?
Prior to purchasing
Prior
the
to purchasing the property as
Yeah.
well, okay, so, you have a due diligence window, I guess, to work with,
I'm not
with the
privy to
current
what it
owner?
is, but we are working against,
Okay,
that.
all right. So, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. I don't know, did they meet with Barbara, do you know, regarding this?
I spoke to Barbara at the very beginning,
did,
and
okay.
she just kind of told me the way I have to go here.
All right,
And
so
we
she's
just-
kind of leading you, all right, okay. All right, I just want to make sure that there's no issue.
One quick question, probably for Malcolm.
Yeah.
There's no difference in parking calculations from what it was to what it is, right? They
What
would
it
fall in the
was is
same
a-
parking calculation, the Rite Aid and the supermarket?
There might be.
Because I know that's kind of a tight parking lot, and
Yeah. You can
So
continue.
do-
I'll
all right,
pull
all right,
up
so
the
you wanna
parking
take a look at
requirements.
it, yeah. All right, and then you said just with the loading, the truck's going to back into the building, you're
Yes.
saying? Okay,
From where?
so it's up in here.
They'll pull into
That's
New
just-
Hackensack Road.
So he's,
Right, go all the way around?
Well, they don't
okay,
have
go
to,
this
they
way.
can pull back out of New Hackensack Road, that could be an entrance and an exit, but it's not for the public, it would be just for
When the
loading.
truck comes in, is it gonna make a right turn before the building, or?
No, it's gonna pull straight to the back of the building and back into the loading zone. I think there's a little illustration.
right, so, okay, so you just, right, you have that little thing where he's going to back up into here. So basically, when they're there, they're not going to, when a truck is there, it's not going to block that drive aisle.
That's the idea.
Because you're still going to use that, New Hackensack, the two-way entrance on New Hackensack Road, correct?
Yes.
There's one
Okay.
over- That's an entrance?
Yeah, that's an entrance. There's you can go in and out on that side. I believe this one here is in only.
And only one way.
This is an exit out, and then this is an entrance in.
do they use,
off of
do they
Route
use
9.
tractors or 10-wheelers for delivery?
They have straight trucks from my
They do have straight,
experience.
okay.
yeah.
Right, so that's even easier then.
Well, actually, some would say it's not. They say that the 12-wheelers are actually a little easier.
Okay.
There was a business there that got deliveries.
Yeah.
Right. Well, when Rite Aid was there, they were
Did a lot
accepting-
more.
Yeah. All right.
To answer the parking question, I'm not seeing a grocery store specific. I think that the parking calculation remains the same,
Okay.
which is retail or service business,
Cool. All right.
which is correctly shown on the plans, one for every 150.
I just didn't want them to get surprised.
Did we lose any parking on that right side of the building?
We lost what was on a plan, and I have not seen the actual existing site plan approval. They showed green spaces there that were part of the calculation.
Really?
But, yeah, but
Maybe they
they're
were.
Oh, you're
land
talking
bankers.
about on the, okay. Yeah, on
across
that
from
one
the
side,
driveway, yeah.
yeah, that was land bank parking.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right, land
so it's just the parking spaces that they never developed.
They never developed.
Unless there was a need for it. So if the zoning administrator felt that they were short parking, then they would have to then build out those parking spaces.
Well, we are doing that in
Okay,
the
but
back.
you're gonna do it anyway on this plan, and you're gonna create employee parking on that side?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so.
Good idea.
Yeah, I like it.
yeah,
Can we hear a little bit from the, about what the business is?
Sure. Ashley?
Pass it over to my
Oh, well,
brother
sure.
Wilson.
He's the talker.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys?
You can pick up the microphone, you don't have to bend
It's
over.
for the camera.
Gotcha. So basically, what we're proposing, we're a family-run supermarket chain coming out of New York. We operate under different banners, but what we normally do at the end of the day is we focus on perishables, fresh produce, fresh fish. We cut meat in store, so fresh meat. Bakery, we do our own bread, Latin bread, and then we also do, your normal rolls and everything else. So we're basically focusing as well on convenient option for everyday groceries. We run under a sales program just like any other supermarket. So but at the end of the day, like how I mentioned, we focus more on perishables, and that's where the name Wappinger's Fresh Market comes into place. It's not a per se Whole Foods or a luxury supermarket. It's a fresh, one can say farm fresh supermarket, and customer service. We have various family members on premises throughout the week to always keep an eye on things. So that's what we have in mind, and with your blessing to move forward with the expansion and everything else, the space seems adequate to move forward and, you know, make the investment. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
No, that's it.
You said it was a chain?
We operate a chain called La Placita. There's locations throughout Westchester, New York, store in Connecticut, a store in Jersey. We also operate under other banners, such as Save a Lot, like a discount model banner. So we have different experience throughout different chains.
But just locally in the northeast area?
Locally, majority of them are in New York. In Westchester area, we do have a store in Newburgh, New York, so kind of in this area as well.
I think it's a great use, and just have to demonstrate how it works from the traffic, from the parking and traffic perspective.
Yeah, I think, from my perspective, I think that the parking will be tight, but I think that it makes sense, and, you know, 2 spaces below what is required, that is at the discretion of the planning board, but that's pretty close to the overall what is required. I think the hardest element of this will be getting a variance, the required variance from the ZBA. So my recommendation would be to start that process as quickly as possible, get an answer there, because that sounds like that is the, you know, that'll be the most difficult thing, and it's also the most important to you. So.
Okay. All right.
I should add, they're in construction on a brand new supermarket in Peekskill too. And they took over an Eckhart's drugstore in Newburgh that we're doing the same thing, but as of right, adding a storage to the side.
Okay.
We're gonna end up with all these drugstores eventually.
Well, somebody's got to buy them up and use them. Yeah.
People need food more than drugs, I would say.
Okay. All right. Yes. I mean, if nobody else has any other questions regarding it, then we're. It seems like everybody's, you know, nobody has any real issues. Nothing's jumping out. So, I mean, go ahead and make your application to the ZBA.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, usually in a case like this, I don't think that we really give any favorable recommendations, only
No, I
because
really
of
understand that.
we don't have a full, you know, we don't have a full set of plans yet to even go by. But it sounds like with the board, you know, I think everybody kind of likes the idea of it. So go ahead and do that, and once you've attained the variances, and come back and see us.
Here and go over the lighting and everything.
We go over everything at that
You have a new
point.
lighting code?
Yeah.
Well, it's not new. We've had it for a little
Within the
while
last
now.
year or
but,
so, right?
well, I think it's a few. I think it's more
A few years now.
Portland
I think it's more like
Manor
4
is
years.
now-
Yeah.
Huh?
I think it's more like 4 years old.
Yeah.
Portland Manor is now focused on less light than more.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We did. We toned it
Used to be the
down.
minimum we need, now it's the maximum.
Same thing
Yeah.
with parking.
Same thing here, yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, all
Thank
right.
you very much.
All right, have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
All right. All right. Okay, all right. The next item is another conceptual review regarding Sunup Properties LLC.
Nobody's here?
No, I think Mr. Martin's here to speak to us regarding that application.
What?
Good evening, Ernie Martin, representing Sunup Properties LLC, which is located at 1601 and 1607 Route 376. You may recall, this is the former location of Sunup Construction Company. They were in business for a good 40 years. And the 1607 location, which is to the north, that was their principal location, their business office, as well as their shop to repair their equipment and that. The owner of Sunup Construction is retired, the business has been closed, and is no longer functioning for them. However, currently, Sunup Properties LLC owns many properties, and it's the management of those properties is from this location. And currently, they also on site they also rent to other businesses. Currently, there's a roofing company, there's a heavy construction company that's there, and there's also a detailer. I reviewed the files at the town offices, and during the tenure of Sunup Construction, they never really obtained a site plan approval. So the purpose of this application is to identify those uses that could be used at this location in accordance with the code, approved uses. And the idea is to get a site plan approval for those uses such that if as tenants come and go, we wouldn't have to come back to the planning board for a new site plan approval.
Mm-hmm.
And in my little presentation that I prepared, I did list about 8 or 10 businesses. Again, these are right out of the code. Some were obvious that we would not want to, the owner would not want to rent to, but we feel that those businesses that are identified could be used at this location.
Can I ask the planner, does that conform to your understanding of site plan approvals?
So, as long as all of the uses that we're talking about are principal permitted uses, and you have an approval for, let's say, the maximum parking requirement, what we would be looking, what the applicant would be doing at that point would sort of be a change in occupant, as opposed to an amended site plan, and there would be no special permit, assuming that there are no special permit uses in this discussion. So I think that there is a scenario where if the bulk table lines up with the required bulk table for general business zone, which it is in, and the parking demand, maybe not all of, but you identify what uses. I don't think that we would even necessarily be talking about the uses. That would just sort of be a change of occupancy process with the building department.
Right.
So I think what we're looking at here, because there is no official site plan, is getting a site plan for a commercial site and identifying for the applicant, based on what is currently there, what tenants could use that without needing to come before the planning board. And they would just need to go through, a change in occupancy process. So if that's my understanding, that's my understanding of what you're proposing to do. This seems pretty standard, because you're not really proposing to change anything on the site.
Right.
Everything is existing. That being said, if there's anything that's sort of like an existing non-conforming, but we're talking about adding new uses, that might be trickier. So I think that's my first question, is sort of like, what's the bulk table of the existing conditions in relation to the zoning district that you're in? What's your parking count at? Do the parking aisles and stall widths and lengths all match what is sort of required by code? Because all of this was probably built before zoning, or at least some of it was built before zoning. And some of it has been built since, but without site plan approval. So I think that our first step will be, here is a full detailed site plan of the existing conditions, and we can go from there. We may need to make some changes depending on drive aisle widths. We may look at it and we may realize that some of these parking lots are not up to code. But I think we would cross that bridge when we come to it. And I think that the first step is sort of a detailed existing conditions plan and what is code compliant, what would be permitted under that, and what you would then identifying what you would need to change if you wanted to expand that.
So if they
I
put down a,
oh.
they just, so basically if they developed a site plan, you know, based upon the existing with, using the worst case scenario for, you know, for parking and things like that, just so it, you know, make sure that they have enough parking on the site. Obviously, it doesn't sound like they're changing anything on the site, like you know, the buildings are the buildings, I guess.
Yes.
So they're not gonna change any of that, so it's just a matter of whatever, you know, whoever moves in there would be able to, you know, operate.
Yes. To
You know,
give an example, like from recent history, Tassone Court came in, and we were formalizing a largely existing site. And what triggered that process was that the commercial component went from retail to personal service, and the parking demand went up, and the existing parking no longer satisfied the use. And so they came in to expand the parking. This would, you know, a modification of that process would be if Tassone Court came in, said this is our existing conditions, we want to formalize the existing conditions in a site plan. Some of that may be pre-existing non-conforming, but based on the existing conditions, what can we do? As opposed to putting a new tenant in and then having to retroactively expand the parking to accommodate it. So, does that sound?
Yeah,
Do you have any
the
questions?
other question I would have is, I suspect that the setbacks, it's on 376, these buildings may not, one or maybe more, don't quite comply. Will we have to go to ZBA, or does the board have the power to waive that?
I don't think there would be any waivers
I don't think so.
involved.
Yeah.
If you're not making any changes to the buildings and those are pre-existing, the question would be, were they built before zoning and therefore pre-existing non-conforming? Or have they been built illegally since zoning and they are in violation? So that will be something that we will be looking for information on. You know, if you can demonstrate that this building existed before the zoning code was adopted, it's a pre-existing non-conforming. If there's evidence that that's not true, that building is in violation.
Well, this says we had an approved plan in 1995 on that property, no? I guess,
In the narrative, or?
yeah, applicant previously received site plan approval on October 5th, 1995 to operate automotive repair for himself. I guess that's when Bucky was just working out of the garage there to fix his own equipment.
It's probably when he built that garage. Or another garage, he's got a few of them here.
I know. But if that's the last
Yeah,
one.
I don't see that date. Do you see that date? Or is-
I'm just looking at the statement in the.
Looking up on the agenda item, on the agenda.
Oh.
When you look in the item, or in the description of the project, the applicant previously received site plan approval on October 5th, 1995.
Okay.
I mean, they
But
may
we don't
be-
have any documentation associated with that?
Oh, we don't?
If he could dig that up, he might just, would he get away with just doing an amendment to that?
Yeah,
If we
theoretically,
can
but we need to find that plan.
Yeah.
Or he needs to find that plan, or a resolution referencing that that plan existed would,
Yeah.
you know, would be something.
No, I met with Judith some weeks back.
Looking through the stacks.
And she had the whole file out, and we went through it, and there were bits and pieces, but I don't recall that.
Nothing was filed, fine.
Okay. So that is just sort of a representation from the owner. Okay. That becomes a legal question, which we will talk to Kyle about.
Yeah, we're going to look into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So in terms of ZBA, I don't think we have an answer right now. But I'm assuming if they, in 95, they didn't require them to get a variance, then you probably wouldn't need one today, you know.
For example, both buildings, I think, are existing and were there.
Right.
Okay. But
Yeah.
then I know on the 1607, I know he modified that because he had office space and things like that. I would have to find out, was it just a porch that was enclosed, or did they actually punch the footprint out? I'll have to find out.
Yeah, so that would be, the building department, you'd have to go through all the records.
Yeah.
And see what they have. All right.
So my understanding from your planner and yourself that you would support this, but we'll have to look at it from the standpoint, what can we kind of analyze the site for in the GB zone, you know, for and the particular uses, and see if primarily the parking and maybe some of the other geometrics, whether they comply.
Can I just ask you, when you have this list of future uses, how did you come up with the future uses?
I think those are just principal permitted uses in the GB zone.
They're right in the code.
But each one of them has different requirements of
Well,
parking.
that's, I
So
think,
if you're gonna put them all in, then you have to have the maximum parking,
understand.
which you may not have.
What we tried to do was to look at it. I didn't do a detailed traffic or a parking analysis, but I tried to look at the uses that I thought would be logical for this use, as opposed to some there we just kind of, we didn't even consider them.
Okay. Now, the other thing too is we were just talking to the town supervisor today with those zoning changes, and this is one of those areas
That's what I was just saying.
that's going to be, possibly, there are gonna be some type of changes in that area.
Is that under consideration now?
Yeah, they're gonna move forward with that.
Are they looking at HM for this?
Yeah,
it
HM
sounded
is
like
that, yep.
For this lot?
I'm not sure. I
That's
mean,
what I was
I don't
trying
know.
to
We got
figure-
that map behind us.
That's
that
what I was trying to
kinda-
figure out, yeah.
And that
This
email-
lot was impacted by it.
So-
In the email
I
that
didn't
he
think
sent
it was
us,
part of
there's a
GB.
list of all
Huh?
the
I
tax
didn't think it was part of it.
Yeah. We got yeah, go out by the airport.
Is that Morley?
That's right here. No,
I mean,
it's
it's
close to the airport.
kind of
You
thing.
go
It
north.
might actually work to your benefit.
No, you're good,
Potentially. Certainly the setback requirements are much lower. It will have a different set of uses.
There's a residential component to it.
There's a residential, if you wanted to put a residential.
Give it a second to
you might-
catch up.
You couldn't before, but you might be able to now.
That's Myers Corners Road.
The biggest difference is that
You're gonna go
the
up
setbacks are much
So go up
lower
here,
in the
it's
HM.
this-
That blue one right there.
It might also mean that some of the, like, I do not believe that construction yard or contractor yard.
So the
things
left
like that
side, the left side is the airport side, that's where
That
their
GB
property
is what he's
So it might
talking
be
about right there.
that some of the
in
existing
blue.
uses, historical uses would no,
That might be the apartments there.
I think that's the gas station right there.
within the next
So
month.
that's his property
Yeah.
right there.
They've been working on it for 2 years. They're
Ones
they're
that were cut.
completing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a
full
What does that mean, GB?
They have that up right there.
General
One of the
business.
properties, they have the tax map right there.
General
That's,
business.
Yeah.
Is it?
So it is, yeah, so it's, they're proposed, well, hopefully we can make this a little bigger here without it shrinking on me again. Stay.
That's
All
it.
right, stay.
There we
Anyway. But they're proposing, because this is the gas station here, so right across from, his office is right across from the gas station, those couple of parcels there, they're gonna have general business will remain in the back, and then HM will be in the front. What do you say, 90 feet?
The first 90 feet, yeah.
Yeah, so the first 90 feet of the property would be HM.
Which is,
So that, and that might open up to different, to some other possibilities on the property as well.
Mhm.
So that might be something to take into consideration. So maybe before, you might want to talk to the owner before coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe come in during the day when Barbara's in and she can kind of go through some of the things with you to kind of give you a better idea. But then you can come in, it might open up other opportunities as well for the owner.
Yeah, just as an idea, I mean, I don't want to throw a wrench into the town board's plans, but if they're considering rezoning the first 90 feet of this parcel, they might be open to, if you wanted to volunteer, they might be open to rezoning more of your parcel and avoiding split zoning the first 90 feet.
Right. Because those lots are only.
Yeah, Monday night, next Monday night, they're doing a
Public
public
hearing.
hearing. Public hearing.
That's only 72 feet.
Well, here, and then. Well, it's 240 feet.
Yeah.
What would you say was the first 90?
90,
So
off
that's,
of the road.
Yeah, so that's a third of the lot.
Yeah.
Might be worth
What is
just
HM?
looking at
What's HM?
rezoning the whole thing and then thinking about
Highway business.
what you can do with that
Highway.
instead.
Well, it depends on if you want to keep, you gotta look at the uses, because I don't know if,
I don't
I don't know.
think they are.
Hmm?
I think, I was just telling the applicant, the biggest difference is that the permitted, the uses that are permitted, either a special permit or a principal permitted, are different. I think that some of the historic uses on this site would no longer be permitted, but there are more possibilities. The other big difference is that the setback requirements of the HM zone are much lower. And some of the buildings that could potentially have needed a variance might no longer need a variance if they're in the HM zone.
Well, Malcolm, the pre-existing uses, if they are found to be legal under the current zoning, would be allowed to continue whether or not the zoning is changed. It's basically pre-existing
If they're
non-compliant
pre-existing,
uses.
they're all remain, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
So hopefully, okay.
Yeah, no, it was helpful. We at least got direction, and that was the purpose of coming
And
tonight.
just the zoning changes are moving pretty rapidly. Public, I don't know if you're here for the workshop, but the public hearing is Monday night on these changes.
Okay. So if the public hearings is Monday, I mean, this is looking to move ahead within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
All right.
very good. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, good evening. Okay. All right, so, now we're down to the end of the agenda here. The question comes to, had the supervisor here this evening regarding the proposed zoning changes. Does the planning board want to give the town board any comments regarding those proposed changes? Or do we just want to give them a favorable, that we are favorable of the changes and
Yes.
that we don't have, that the planning board doesn't have any concerns?
Yeah, that's what we want to give them.
So give them
We don't have any
that so
concerns.
have the secretary draft a memo to the town board that we're in favor of the proposed zoning changes and that we're going to give it, that we have no concerns and we have a favorable recommendation.
Correct.
Okay. Might as
I'll
well.
make that motion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, seeing none, okay, motion carries. All right, so now with that, we're to the end of the agenda. Unless, anybody else
Motion
wants to?
Get on out of here.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you.